So we hit the ground running in Real Talk. The first topic off the bat was abortion, and the question was, these students were able to see sonograms and ultrasounds on Friday. They were able to see a real life baby in the womb of a woman that they have come in contact with, be it a teacher or a parent. So it made this real in their lives, not just a discussion that we have, a political discussion. However, we do see it in social media. We see the March for Life coming up pretty soon. And this is a topic that is hotly debated in so many circles in politics. So I wanted to get the students' opinions and say, okay, what do you guys think about this? You go to a Catholic school, it's very pro-life. We talk about these things all the time. How have your views changed, modified, increased, decreased? What's your perspective on this? Our first students got up and they pretty much gave the line of, that they are against abortion and all of its different methods and ways and all that stuff. And a lot of the other students piled on as well, and they said, yeah, we're pro-life, and there's no good reason to have an abortion. In their terms, it would be to kill a baby. There's no good reason to do that. And I wasn't surprised by that. However, I did make sure the students knew as they get older, I do find with our high school students that it becomes less black and white. I think that the more you experience different scenarios, different people from different backgrounds, different circumstances, that you might find yourself seeing it a little bit more gray. And I think that a lot of our students do. Now, I'm going to tell the students that I agree with them that it is black and white. I would say that there is no good reason to kill a child. Not that there aren't hard situations. There definitely are. There are definitely hard situations. And I'm not going to say it's always going to be an easy choice. That never is it easy raising a kid. But there's never a good reason to kill a child. So I'm going to back that up 100%. However, I do understand what these students are saying when they say that it's not always black and white easy. There are many times when you might approach some of these things in a situation, you're like, maybe abortion would be the right idea, or as you get influenced by the media into thinking different things. Some of the interesting ones we talked about was danger of the life of the mother, I think was one. And I thought one thing that I heard a guy say one time was if the mother's life is in danger, especially as we approach weeks 24, 25, 26, that kind of middle. Actually, my wife is around those weeks right now herself. We're expecting our 5th kid coming up in June. Excited. But as they approach these weeks, an option for you to do, and I said, you could terminate the pregnancy. And that's a word people use, especially when it comes to abortion. But that's not the only way. Abortion isn't the only way that you can terminate a pregnancy. Terminating a pregnancy would just simply mean ending a pregnancy. And that happens every time a baby is born. A pregnancy is ended. So I said to the students, you should terminate the pregnancy. If the mother's life is in danger, why don't we have a C-section? We can remove the child. Put the child in the NICU, which happens all the time. We're with the technology that we have these days. It's getting earlier and earlier that these children can survive outside of the womb, and then take care of the mother as she needs to be taken care of. But you are therefore able to save the life of the mother and save the life of the child without having to kill one or the other. So I thought that was a great opportunity. I think it opened the eyes of the students a little bit that terminating a pregnancy doesn't always mean abortion. Like there's means you can do without having to kill a child. Another one was in the terms of rape. They said, man, what happens if this lady's raped? She didn't want this child. She's going through struggle, and maybe there's a reason. Maybe that's a good reason that you should have an abortion. And I give some examples. If it's in this scenario where there's a guy who has raped a woman and she's become pregnant with this child, should she have an abortion? Well, I would say when it comes to the guy, many times in America, it seems like we don't hold him as accountable as we should for his actions. Maybe sometimes this guy gets off scot-free, and I think that's an injustice where these guys should have to face up to the consequences of their actions. But when it comes to the lady, I even told the students many times that if a woman in the world gets, in many countries, if she is found to be pregnant out of wedlock, like she's the one that gets punished, whether it was by rape or by her consent or however, she gets punished, and sometimes by death. And I said, man, that doesn't necessarily seem right. This woman, she has had this inflicted upon her against her will, but she's the one that gets punished. That doesn't make much sense. But I think even more unjust than the example of the guy or the woman being unrightly punished, is punishing the child. The one who had the least to do with it at all. This is probably the most unjust thing we can do, is punish the child who came into existence. They didn't determine how they came into existence. I didn't determine how I came into existence. It just happened, and I just all of a sudden was here. But that child didn't come into existence on its own way or its own ideas or its own plan. It just popped into being. So to punish that child for circumstances that were out of his control, I think would be the most unjust thing we could possibly do. Not that the situation that we find ourselves in with this that I've laid out is not a terrible situation, because it very much so is. I think I told the students that I think it would be a great thing if we were able to find ways to empower that woman and to truly show strength. And many times I think abortion is promoted as a way to empower women to have control over their own bodies. But I don't think we should empower women to kill their own children. I don't think that's the right move. But if we have this situation here, if there's a way we can empower this woman to overcome this excruciating obstacle in her life, to truly show the strength of a woman who can receive this child, who is her daughter or her son, who can receive this child against her will, but raise this beautiful child who's beloved by God no matter how they come into the world. If she can be empowered and given the benefit and the aid to raise this child, that would truly speak to the power of a woman and to truly uplift women, especially the ones that are stuck in these difficult situations. My mom actually knows somebody who finds herself in this situation. I talked to her about it actually this morning, and she said that this lady had this happen to her, and she doesn't raise this child any differently than any other child that she had. Although the circumstances were different, she sees this child as her very own daughter and raises this child with love, as we should. Now, obviously, many of the students in the variety of different circumstances that we brought up said, adoption is always an option. This is a tough situation. Can we adopt this child? I think many people, maybe I know in my own life, did I plan all the kids that I have in my life? Was it always like, okay, this is what we're going to do? No. There are many unplanned pregnancies in the world, but that doesn't mean that we have to kill babies. Like, adoption is a reality. And at the presentation that they saw on Friday, I'm pointing over at the gym. What they saw at the gym, they said that there are 36 couples waiting on a child for every child that gets adopted. So there are many couples that do desire to adopt a baby, and I think this is a great opportunity for that. And I was happy to know that our students had that opinion. But I did warn them that upcoming there's going to be a wave of information coming your way that may skew your perception on this thing and what you believe. So be ready for that, and always roll back on this thing. Like, which of these circumstances is okay for us to kill a baby? Are there any circumstances that are okay for this to happen? And I think that most of our students at this point would say that there are no circumstances. However, that may change as they get older. So I encourage you guys always in these videos to continue to have these conversations with your students, because you're the primary catechists. You're the ones that impact their life more than ever. I know you look at Adam and he's got his statues behind him and he wears the Jesus shirts and the kids yell when they see him and all that stuff, but I'm nothing compared to you guys. Like, compared to you parents, I'm just a shovel. If we're digging a hole, I'm a shovel. You guys are like heavy duty equipment. Like, you guys make the most impact in your students' life. So I always encourage you guys in these videos. I make these videos so you guys know what we're talking about, and you guys can have these conversations with your kids, because that's going to be the biggest impact, what you guys do and how you guys live your lives. And I would hope that there was somebody out there that was impacting my students' life and, informing me as to what we're talking about as well, so I can continue those conversations and be relevant to my kid. As it seems, right now my kids are hanging on me all the time. I got a 9, 7, 4, 1, and a on the way. But they're all on me. But I know that's coming up, that my students are going to get more distant from me, and I would probably long to keep those connections with them and be involved in their life as I should be appropriately. So I look forward to these videos coming out. If you don't want to see any of the videos, just let me know, and I cannot send them to you. But I think they're fun to make, so I hope that you guys think they're fun to watch. All right. God bless you guys.